Okay, the distillery is at the Shanty Bar. That's 79 Richardson off Lomar. Let's go in, see if we find Alan Katz. This is like the old Bubba show, looking for Alan Katz. Bubba. Alan Katz, how the hell are you?
It's a good day. Back to work today.
Really, you know?
Every day's a work day.
Hey, this is very rare. People used to pay $2 or $3 for a Bubba interview. So, you know.
What are they paying now?
Around 25 cents. Okay.
At least you're getting something.
So, the Shanty Bar, part of the distillery.
It is. It's a contiguous operation.
Which came first?
They opened the same day to the public, December 5th, 2011.
Open to the public. That sounds like a TV show I used to do.
Could be.
What was the date again?
December 5th.
Okay.
Which, if you're not familiar, is a uniquely historic date in that it's the anniversary of the repeal of Prohibition.
Oh, okay. It's a good thing. So, great bar, serving everything. And the two gins, Dorothy Parker and the
Perry's Tot.
And the Perry's Tot, what, 120 proof?
114 to be exact.
114. Is there any significance in that number?
Well, 114 is one of the traditional proofs of so-called Navy strength gin, a proof at which, if by accident or otherwise, your alcohol spills on your gunpowder, why, of course, you can still fire off your cannons.
Oh, okay. So, 114 gin, you know, you could still shoot the rockets, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's go in the distillery. Hey. This is cool because you have a glass viewing through the bar, and it's almost like microbreweries, which were real hot a lot of years ago, where you would see the beers being brewed.
Sure.
Now you could actually see the gin being brewed.
That's right, and so the unique thing for us in having the Shanty through the window is that it's not just a tasting room, but as you saw, as you can see, a fully licensed bar. So we have 170 some bottles behind the bar, only 2 of which are ours. So if you prefer tequila or rum or a good cold beer, we have that too. And it's meant simply to be a good neighborhood bar. But of course our focus is here in the distillery, making the gins and selling them now, and simultaneous, if you look down the lane, we're trying to fill about a barrel to a barrel and a half of American rye whiskey every week.
That's pretty cool stuff. I mean, where did you come up with the idea of the distillery in Williamsburg, Brooklyn? Many years of thinking.
Just natural genius. I don't know. Dumb luck. Simply a desire to produce something. That's it.
Okay, so show Bubba how this works.
So come on over here. From a distilling standpoint, the apparatus is pretty straightforward. This is called a kettle, and this is the hatch of the kettle. And inside, you can come take a look if you like. I'll put the light on for you.
Yeah, light helps.
There you go. A large copper vessel. Ours is 1,000 liter, and it's like cooking on the stovetop and closing the lid. So for us, if we're cooking gin or distilling gin, we have 3 primary ingredients: neutral grain spirit, water, and we use regular city water, and our botanical recipe. All gin has juniper, but after that it's really a blank canvas that you can pick and choose what botanicals you want to incorporate, how much of each botanical, of course. For Perry's Tot, we use 10 botanicals. For Dorothy Parker, we use 8 botanicals, so they're different recipes. We put all of those things into the kettle, close the hatch, and turn it on. Now this is the same style of still, the kettle that is, that you might have found in Scotland or Ireland of 500-600 plus years ago, the primary difference being the heat source. Today, fortunately, we have a closed system. It's all powered by steam, where in those days, several centuries ago, they would have had open flame. A little bit more dangerous, obviously. So with reason, this is a fairly safe operation. We keep an eye on everything. There's always someone here when we're in operation, obviously. But to be able to be powered by steam, we can really control the pressure and the temperature to a great degree. And again, from the standpoint of gin, once we've started the distillation, we're just very careful about cooking it as slowly as possible, because gin distillation is about extracting flavor and aroma from the essential oils of this botanical recipe, this myriad of flavors. And so if you were just to turn the heat up on your stove real fast and cook an egg, of course you'd burn it. So you cook things at an appropriate temperature, extract the essential oils, and ultimately once we're finished, if you come over here.
Now, before we leave there, how long the process is this?
For our recipe, and if you want to take a step back and see the whole piece of apparatus, for the gin, if you will, to go through the entire process from kettle to helmet to column to condenser, and the condenser is the stainless steel tube on the far left, takes us about 8.5 hours.
And the finished product, or are these, what, 525 liter?
We actually don't put gin in there, but we put gin in these rolling tanks.
Oh, okay.
So if you come over here.
So 8.5 hours, winds up in the rolling tanks.
And we'll come over this way. And I'll suggest
and let me switch sides so I get the light behind me. So
inhale, but don't breathe too deeply. You can come closer.
Okay.
So this.
Wow.
Is the yield. So about 500 liters of unproofed gin. So this is approximately 165 to 170 proof.
So if you people at home could smell this, it's strong stuff.
It's very strong right now. So what we'll do in a day or two, we like to let it rest. We distilled this last week. It's a pretty beautiful but also violent process in the kettle. Let it rest for a few days, let the flavors come together, and ultimately we will use double filtered water, specifically charcoal filtered water, to bring this to bottle proof. So this is Dorothy Parker gin here. This will be proofed to 88 or 44% alcohol. And then we'll let it rest for a couple of more days before we move on to bottling, which I can show you over here.
Sure. Yeah, let's see what the bottling looks like on old Dorothy Parker.
So your timing was fortuitous. We just set this up today because we're ready to bottle about 1,000+ liters of Dorothy Parker gin. And just to give you an example of how this works, it's simply a gravity-fed apparatus. This tank is filled.
Right.
About a gross ton of weight of gin. And by hose and by gravity, we're simply filling it into this tank. And it's calibrated to measure out at at exactly 750 milliliters, which conveniently is the size of our bottles.
So as soon as you put them in there, they start loading, just by gravity.
Just by gravity. The tank fills. The tank is constantly feeding the tank. The large tank is constantly feeding the small tank. And you can see here that in pretty rapid succession, we'll have 6 bottles filled. And you just see a little bit of air bubbles because of the thrust of the liquid, but that'll dissipate as well.
So if Bubba was a gin connoisseur, which I hopefully will be at some point in the near future, Bubba could just come over here and, you know, quality control with the bottles, right?
So once it's filled, the air bubbles have stopped, you see the liquid resting, you simply go straight down and you've got a bottle of gin. And you can come here and we'll turn our capper on. And this machine is brilliant. It will cap 1 bottle at a time.
Wow.
And that's now sealed.
That's pretty cool.
And then we come over here. And this might take a couple to get it. It's not been started yet. Let's see. Oh, no, it is ready. There we go. Let's see. And it will label. Well, didn't quite do it. It will label 1 bottle at a time.
In fairness, this stuff wasn't warmed up or ready. I just walked in off the street, literally, and said, come on, let me shoot an interview here.
We'll get it on this one.
Okay, and it'll put both sides of the label on the bottle, and you'll show us the finished bottle.
No, needs a little bit of work.